In this video, I'm going to show you how to source products on Zendrop the right way, specifically how to vet suppliers and avoid quality issues before you start selling. Over 60% of dropshipping refunds happen because of product quality or shipping problems, not ads or marketing. That means most stores don't fail because they can't get traffic. They fail because they picked the wrong supplier. I'm Erin from Ecom Mastery. Let's get into it. What is Zendrop and why do people use it? Zendrop is a dropshipping platform that connects your store to suppliers, mostly focused on faster shipping and more control than traditional marketplaces. Instead of manually messaging suppliers or guessing where products come from, Zendrop handles sourcing, order fulfillment, and tracking in one place. The reason people use Zendrop is simple. It reduces a lot of the risk that comes with dropshipping. You get access to vetted suppliers, clear shipping times, and options like branded packaging or custom sourcing if you scale. That doesn't mean every product on Zendrop is perfect, but it does mean you have more visibility and control compared to completely open marketplaces. For beginners, Zendrop is popular because it plugs directly into Shopify and removes a lot of the technical friction around fulfillment. For more advanced sellers, it's used to streamline sourcing and avoid quality surprises once ads start scaling. Step 1, setting up Shopify and Zendrop. First, you'll want an active Shopify store. This is where your products live, where customers check out, and where orders are actually processed. You don't need a fully designed store at this stage. You're not worrying about branding, themes, or apps yet. All you need is a working Shopify account with the basic setup completed so Zendrop has somewhere to connect. Shopify usually runs a low-cost trial, so you can get this set up without committing to a full plan right away. That's more than enough to connect Zendrop, import products, and start evaluating suppliers. If you don't have a Shopify store yet, I will leave a link below so you can create one and follow along. And if you're planning to use Zendrop, I will also drop the link down below so you can connect it as we go. Once that's set, we will jump straight into connecting Zendrop and sourcing products the right way. Once your Shopify store is ready, the next step is connecting Zendrop. Inside of your Shopify dashboard, look at the bottom left corner, and then we're going to click on apps. So this is where all of your store's integrations live. We're going to click on all recommended apps and then go to Shopify App Store. So that opens the marketplace where you can search for apps that connect directly to your store. So in the search bar, to save time, we are going to type in Zendrop and then it'll pop up right here. So you'll see Zendrop show up in the results. Click into it and then this will say install. I have already downloaded it, so it says open, but essentially Shopify will walk you through a quick permission screen, and this is normal. You're basically allowing Zendrop to sync products into your store, automatically send orders for fulfillment, and push tracking numbers back to customers once orders ship. Once you confirm and install, Zendrop connects directly to your Shopify store. This connection is important because it removes manual work. Products sync over instead of being added one by one. Orders are fulfilled automatically instead of copied and pasted, and tracking updates flow back to your customers without you having to touch anything. After this is installed, you are ready to actually start sourcing products and, more importantly, vetting suppliers, which is where most beginners either do things right or run into quality issues. Step 2, start product research the right way. All right, so now that Zendrop is connected, this is where most people rush and mess things up, so we are going to slow it down. First thing I want you to do is look at the left-hand menu, and then we are going to click on Find Products. So this is the main product research section inside of Zendrop. Everything we do from here is about choosing products that won't cause quality issues later. Step 3, ignore trending for now. Before you click anything else, you will see trending selections and hot sellers right away. So we are not clicking those yet. Trending does not mean good quality. Trending just means other people are testing it, sometimes badly. So right now our goal is to just learn how to vet a product, not chase hype. Step 4, use the search bar intentionally. So at the top of the page, you will see the search bar and go ahead and click into it. So instead of typing something random or chasing whatever looks trendy, we want to start with a simple product category you already understand. So this could be something like pet, home, fitness, or beauty. The goal here isn't to find a winner instantly. It's to start in a category where you can actually judge quality and usefulness. So I'm going to type in pets, then press enter and let Zendrop pull up all the available options in that category. Step 5, narrow the results before clicking anything. All right, before opening any products, this is where you clean up what you're looking at so you're not wasting time. Right under the search bar, you'll see the filter row. Start with price range and click into that first. So you want products that leave room for margin. So if something already costs a lot to source, it's harder to test price and scale. So keep it on the lower end so we have flexibility later. Next, click ship from anywhere and leave it as is for now. We're not making shipping decisions yet. This step is just about finding potential products. Then click all suppliers and leave that default to. You're not choosing a supplier at this stage, you're scanning what's available. Now let's start looking through the results. So you're not adding anything to your store yet. This step is only about spotting candidates. So as you look through products, I want you to focus on the ones that are simple, easy to understand, and clearly solve one problem. If you can't tell what it does right away or who it's for, you want to skip it. When something does stand out, you want to hover over the product and click directly on the product card to open the details. So I went ahead and chose the padded ski vest for pets. We clearly know it's for a pet, and also the problem it solves is your pet being cold. So I will actually show you how to read a product page like this. So first thing I want to look at is the main product image. So this one is a green flag. It's clean, it's simple, and you also really understand what's being sold. So there is really no confusion, and if someone lands on this from an ad, they really don't have to think. They see a dog wearing a padded vest and they get it instantly. Next is the product title, padded ski vest for pets. Straightforward, no fluff, no weird claims. That matters because if the product name is confusing here, it'll be confusing to customers later. Now look to the pricing on the right side. The product cost ranges from about $5.25 to $5.45 depending on size, and that's solid. It leaves plenty of room to price this higher without squeezing your margins too tight. When you're starting out, anything in this range is much safer than higher cost items. Below that, you'll see shipping cost by variant. Total landed cost is around $12 per unit. That's important because this is the real number you care about, not just the product cost alone. Now let's scroll down to the overview section because this is where people either get clarity or they freak out for no reason. So we can see that the order trend score here is 50, which means that the product has decent recent ordering activity. It's not random or dead inventory, but there is lowering demand though, showing up over the past few weeks because we can see the minus 18%. Next, let's look at the saturation. This one shows 84% labeled as high. So this doesn't mean don't sell it. What it means is a lot of sellers are already offering similar products. So if you tested this, you wouldn't win by being lazy. You'd win the better positioning, better creatives, or a stronger angle. Then check orders by country. In this case, most of the demand is coming from Israel. That's not good or bad on its own. It's just information. It tells you where interest is strongest and helps you think ahead about shipping expectations and targeting later on. At this stage, notice what we're not doing. We're not adding this to the store yet. We're not ordering anything. This step is just about reading the page correctly and deciding if this product is even worth taking seriously. So the question I'm asking here isn't, is this perfect? It's, does this look clear, reasonably priced, and realistic to test without blowing up my store? If the answer is yes, then the next step is checking quality signals and deciding whether this is something you'd sample before testing. And that's exactly what we're going to break down next. Step 6, check variants, pricing, and shipping before anything else. All right, now that we're on the product page, the next thing I'm going to do is look at the variants section on the right. First, look at the variants list. You'll see different sizes here. We have small, medium, large, each with slightly different shipping costs. This matters because you're not selling one product, you're selling multiple versions of the same product. So what I'm checking for is consistency. I want to see that none of the variants suddenly spike in price or shipping. In this case, everything does stay around the same range, which is good. So that just means customers aren't going to get surprised at checkout just because they picked a different size. Next, look at the average shipping time at the top. So this one shows about 8 days, and that's reasonable for a drop shipping product. Not amazing, but not a deal breaker. If you see something like 20 to 30 days here, that's when you pause and think twice. At this stage, we're just gathering information and we're not committing. And you'll notice there's an option here to place place a sample, but that requires Zendrop Plus. For this tutorial, we are not doing that yet, and that is on purpose because at this stage, the goal isn't to buy products, it's to filter out bad ones before you ever spend money. What I like is Zendrop gives you enough information on the product page itself to make that decision without upgrading, so we're going to keep moving using the data that is already available. Wrapping up the vetting process. At this point, you've done everything you actually need to do before spending a single dollar. You've checked how clear the product is, whether the pricing leaves room for margin, how consistent the variants are, and whether the shipping timeline is realistic. You've also looked at demand signals and saturation without blindly chasing trends. And that's the part most people skip. Instead of importing products right away or upgrading just to place a sample order, you're using the information that is already available to filter out bad products early. So that alone avoids most quality issues people run into with dropshipping. The goal here isn't to find the perfect product on the first try. It's really trying to eliminate those risky ones before they ever touch your store. Once a product passes this check, then it's worth thinking about next steps like testing, sampling later, or building an offer around it. But if it doesn't pass this stage, you move on without hesitation. That's how you protect your store, your customers, and your time. How to interpret product vetting data. What you just did here is essentially early stage risk reduction. Most people treat product sourcing as a creative exercise, scrolling, clicking, importing. In reality, it is a screening process. The earlier that you eliminate risk, the fewer problems you have to fix later with refunds, support tickets, and damaged ad accounts. Data from e-commerce platforms consistently show that the high-cost problems happen after a sale, not before it. Refunds, reships, and disputes cost more than failed ads because they compound. One bad product doesn't just lose money, it creates operational drag. So this is why learning to read product pages correctly matters more than finding winning products. How to think about Zendrop as a sourcing tool. Zendrop works best when you treat it as a filtering system, not a product catalog. The metrics you looked at, order trends, saturation, shipping time, and variant consistency are not signals to buy, they're signals to disqualify. If a product fails on clarity, pricing, structure, or logistics, it doesn't matter how popular it looks. Those issues don't improve with better ads. They get worse at scale. Using Zendrop properly means letting the data talk you out of bad decisions before you commit resources. This is also why you don't need to upgrade and order samples at this stage. Sampling makes sense only after a product has already passed basic structural checks. Otherwise, you're paying to confirm something the page already told you. What separates sustainable stores from short-term tests? The difference between stores that survive and stores that churn isn't creativity, it's discipline. Sustainable stores consistently remove weak products early and only test items that are operationally sound. When sellers skip this step, they end up solving preventable problems downstream. When they respect it, everything else becomes clear. Customer expectations are clear, shipping complaints drop, and scaling doesn't introduce chaos. This process doesn't slow you down, it prevents backtracking. That's how to source products on Zendrop the right way, and more importantly, how to vet suppliers and avoid quality issues before you start selling. The goal here isn't to find a perfect product on the first try, it's to reduce risk early so you're not dealing with refunds, shipping complaints, or supplier problems once money is already on the line. When you treat product sourcing as a screening process instead of a guessing game, everything else in your store becomes easier to manage. If you want to follow along and apply this process yourself, I've linked Shopify and Zendrop down below so you can set everything up and start sourcing products with more confidence. I'm Erin from Ecom Mastery. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.